So, are you wondering how you can make six figures or even $1 million as a copywriter? This video, instead of telling you how, I'm going to explain why that's actually the wrong question to be asking in the first place. And it's something that a lot of copywriters are wondering, like, hey, what do I have to do to hit this six-figure mark? So, by the end of this video, I'm going to explain kind of what the realistic expectations are and what you can expect as a copywriter so that you can go into this with your eyes wide open and have realistic goals. So, I'm Christine. I'm a freelance copywriter in the B2B technology niche. But before I started my freelance business, I was in sales for 10 years. So now I'm using all of those skills that I learned to teach copywriters how to pitch themselves. Um, Oops, let me close the window. All the trucks came for the trash and it was a little noisy. I'm sorry about that. So there's a lot of people out there who are talking about copywriting being this high income skill and that you can become a millionaire. And I know that when I didn't really know much about copywriting, I was looking at people on YouTube like Dan Locke, and they were saying this is a high income skill and you can become a millionaire. But the truth is, just like any other career, there is no overnight success, right? So there's plenty of high income skills out there. Sales is one of them. That's an industry I used to be in. But just like in sales or any other field, you can be at the high end or you can be at the low end. And a lot of that is determined on so many different factors. So to ask the question, well, how long until I make six figures is irrelevant because it's really based on your decisions, it's based on your skill set. So if I had to break down what factors go into making a six-figure income as a copywriter, it's a few things. So one, it's your niche, meaning what industry are you going to write in? Because certain niches are not going to be as profitable as something like technology or real estate or marketing. So your chosen niche is really important and really relevant to your income. How you market yourself is huge. Do you have a good portfolio? Do you have a professional website? Are you investing money into the way you're marketing yourself? And luckily with copywriting, it's probably the lowest cost business as a service provider. There is such minimal costs involved with starting up this business. I tallied what I spent on my business in the first year, and it was like probably less than $200 to set up a website, to get grammar checking software, stuff like that. So another factor is your ability to land clients. So you do not have a freelance copywriting business unless you have freelance copywriting clients. So how you are going about getting those clients, how you interact with them, how you acquire your clients is going to be a huge factor in how much you're able to make. If you can't get clients or you're not getting responses when you reach out to people, if you're on Fiverr and Upwork and these are really low paying opportunities, that's going to impact your ability to hit six figures, right? So the other two factors are how much you want to work, right? So for me, I know in the first year I did not want to burn out because I came from a very burnout oriented industry. So putting in like extreme amounts of work and burning myself out, it was not in my cards. Okay. So it was a choice I made of like, hey, I know I can make this amount of money, but I'm not going to take on that many clients. Number one, for my own sanity, but number two, because I don't want to provide crappy services to my clients because I'm burnt out and because I'm tired. There's only so many hours you can stare at a screen and really check your work and make sure that it makes sense and that it's error proof and stuff like that. So how much you actually want to work will determine a lot. And then the final thing is your skill set. So this is huge. I mean, if you don't have a clue about copywriting and you're really green, and maybe your skills aren't that sharp, that's going to impact your income, right? So when you run your own business, guys, which is what freelancing is, it's running your own business. And I know a lot of us don't want to say that because we're service-based businesses and we don't feel like we have employees and we're not raising venture capital, but it is running your own business. And the thing is, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It is a slow build. It's a lot of hard work until you can finally create something of your own. And that's the struggle of being on your own versus being an employee. So I want you to reframe that question of like, how long until I hit six figures, and just ask yourself, how long until I can make a full-time income and pay all of my bills freelancing? That is a more realistic question. And then once you are making enough to pay your bills, and once you have the confidence of saying, wow, I'm making a full-time income without having a boss, then you can talk about ways or strategize ways to scale your income up from there. And that involves a few things. So you're going to need to, once you're making a full-time income, you're going to need to raise your rates. You're going to need to target better clients, and you're going to need to restructure your offer, right? So like, I always suggest getting into blog post writing in the beginning, because it's like the easiest way to break into this industry as a copywriter, because it's essentially writing a high school essay, but a little bit of SEO skills in there as well. And then maybe as you progress, long form content is not going to be part of that package, that structure. So restructuring what it is you offer is really important. And yes, of course, the goal of copywriting is to make money. But when you ask, well, how long until I hit six figures? It's a little bit self-serving, because think of it like this, and think of it from your client's perspective. You are a service provider. So imagine you hired a service provider. Imagine you hired a virtual assistant, because for us copywriters, that's probably the most logical thing that we do. And that's the most logical thing that we do outsource, which is virtual assistants to do menial tasks for us and stuff like that. Imagine you hired someone, and instead of them saying like, well, I'm going to do a good job, I'm going to knock this out of the park, they're sitting there thinking like, how much money can I make off of this person? It's like, you have to look at your own skill set and your own abilities and what you can offer, and that's going to determine how much you make. It's not this, put a coin in a machine, how long until I get six figures? It's just like any other career. If anything, it's harder because you're doing it on your own. So when you go out into the world and you just graduated college, or you just got a certification in something, and you're thinking to yourself, how long till I hit six figures? Well, it's going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot of work, and there's so many different factors. So no one can guarantee how much money you're going to make as a copywriter. That's why the course that I'm creating is like, hey, here's how to land an actual high paying client. You can go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork, and you can get these low balling clients who are just looking for a cheap job. Or you can be really targeted and specific and get on LinkedIn and send an actual cold pitch using the templates that I provide on paidcopywriter.com for free. I actually show you how to structure these messages so that you can go out and actually land these high paying clients. That's a more realistic goal. And once you have 4 or 5 clients that are paying your bills, then you can talk about like, okay, what are the tweaks I need to make in my business to hit my income goals? And if you do what you love and you are good at it, you have to believe that the money is going to follow, right? There's no overnight success or get rich quick hacks to this industry. And I think the biggest thing I'm seeing is a lot of people go on YouTube, which is where I started doing my own research, and they're like, high income skill, 6-figure copywriter, and it's not super realistic. So why don't you take down your expectations a notch and just say, how can I actually make a living on my own as my own boss? And wouldn't that be a miracle, to not work for somebody, to not go into an office, to have a flexible schedule? To me, that was miraculous. So once I got that up and running, it was like, okay, now I have to raise my prices. Now I have to drop this client to make room for a better paying client. And it goes from there. So if you want to learn more about how to cold pitch and how to get these clients and how to at least establish a base, go to paidcopywriter.com and look at my templates. They're actually screenshots of the messages that I have sent to clients and that other copywriters have sent to me when I was hiring clients. And it will give you that behind the scenes look into what does a message look like, how should it be structured, and how do I cut through all of the noise. So good luck. I believe 6 figures is totally possible, but it also takes being realistic, working really hard, sharpening your skill set, and having a really big passion for what you are doing. So good luck.